Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the brand new Air Jordan 29. Now, as you can see, the box it comes in is specific to the Jordan 29. I'm not sure if it's specific to this colorway, but you can see it features a nice metallic red color on the top and bottom of the box, and then this pattern here that is supposed to mimic the performance woven upper featured on the shoe itself. You also have your 29 branding there on the lid. Give you a quick look at the very small label. It's listed as, of course, the Air Jordan 29. The colorway is black, white, gym red. Size is 9.5 US, and the retail price sticker is ripped off. But these guys retail for $225 US. So we'll remove the lid here, and you can see on the inside, they of course include the shoes themselves, and then the paper there features the same pattern as the outside of the box. So we'll get this box out of the way, and we'll take a closer look at the Jordan 29, now with a $225 retail price, which is by no means cheap, but it is down $25 from the Jordan 28. If you guys are interested in a pair of these for yourself, there will be a link down below in the description to the review page of my website. This is one of two launch colorways of the Jordan 29, with this one being the least popular of the two, but definitely my favorite of the two that they launched. The other variation was pretty much an all black upper with like an orangish red Jumpman logo here at the heel. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it. Most people preferred that one, but this was definitely my preference of the two. Leave your opinions down below in the comment section, which was the better colorway at launch for the Jordan 29. I just like the look of the elephant print on this particular shoe, and that's kind of why I went for it. Plus it's black and red, you really can't go wrong with that. But as far as what made me excited about this shoe, it's not that it's the 29th Air Jordan model, it's more so the technology that they introduced here with the performance woven upper made of 4 different layers. We're going to go in detail on that in just a second, but the reason why I was curious about this shoe is because it's one of those new innovations from Nike. We saw this with Flyknit when it was introduced in 2012. It started off on runners and slowly made its way into other running models, other training models, eventually basketball shoes. Now it's on football, and of course it made it into my line of work, soccer cleats, in the form of the Superfly 4 and the Magista Obra. Now this is, to a certain extent, a variation of Flyknit, but at the same time very, very different. Again, something we'll go into more detail on a little bit later in the video, but it's one of those technologies that I would not be surprised if it made its way onto soccer cleats or other forms of footwear within the next couple of years. It definitely has potential. It's definitely a very, very unique material here that gives them a lot of flexibility, not only in terms of structure and support, but also in terms of design. You can see that you have the same shoe with 2 completely different patterns on the upper, but the same level of support and the same performance, which is a very, very interesting thing. And for that reason, it's a much more flexible material as far as design is concerned in comparison to something like Flyknit from Nike. So very, very cool. As far as the colorway is concerned, this is the black, sport red, and white. As you guys can see, I believe it was sport red. I could be wrong. I already forgot what was on the box. Anyways, you have a black base for the upper. You have this kind of white silverish color that makes up the elephant print here on the forefoot, and then of course the lateral medial side, and then the very back of the heel. They are offset on both shoes, so you can see this one has the big embroidered 23, whereas this one actually says Jordan, which I thought was pretty cool. I also think it's kind of a unique design element that the plastic covering for the midsole kind of cuts off at the very back and it goes right to the base where you have the rubber outsole, which I thought was kind of interesting looking, not something I was expecting until I saw the shoes in person. You have the red outline for all the areas that have the elephant print, as you guys can see, which again looks pretty good. It gives it that nice little pop. And then the actual elephant print itself, as well as the Jumpman logos, are like a white silverish color, which just look really, really good against that black base. The midsole is kind of a plastic covering, and it has like a laser, not laser etching, but like an etched out pattern that kind of mimics what that pattern you're going to find on the box itself. You can see you even have, it kind of looks like a digital elephant print. It's trying to mimic the upper, as you guys can see. And then the outsole on this one is black. I'm not sure if it's solid black. It almost looks like it's a smoky black outsole. And then your white Jumpman logo, of course, on both shoes. So that's pretty much it as far as the colorway is concerned. It's pretty straightforward. The inside heel liner is black. The insole features elephant print as well with a red Jumpman logo. It's kind of tough to show you guys with proper lighting. You can see it's elephant print, so it's not really too big of a deal there. But as far as the colorway is concerned, again, it's pretty straightforward. And I think we're going to see a lot of variation, not only in terms of colorways, but also in terms of patterns that are going to be featured on the Air Jordan 29. Now, as far as performance and tech specs are concerned, obviously the highlight here is the upper itself. It's what Nike is calling performance woven. A performance woven upper. It's supposed to be made out of 4 different layers, and what's unique in comparison to something like Flyknit, especially the Flyknit we've seen featured on the Nike Kobe 9 Elite series, is that this has no backing, no support materials behind it. It's literally just a straight up woven upper. It's very, very dense, as you guys can see, and there are definitely layers to this material, but it's still relatively thin, very soft, very flexible, and it has that sock-like level of comfort without sacrificing support. So again, it's a similar concept to Flyknit, but because this is more tightly kind of woven, there's no holes or anything in it, and they're able to kind of make different layers within the material itself, it's arguably a little bit more flexible in terms of what they can do with it. And that's why I really think that this is something we're going to see in the near future from Nike on other models other than the Jordan 29. With that being said, it is a little bit thicker. It has kind of a soft, spongy, padded feel to it, almost like a cotton sock would have, but obviously it's much more complex than that. You have the laces running down the middle with your kind of dynamic support system here, where basically you have these little strings that are kind of a nylon material. They run from the base of the sole into the laces, so when you pull them tight, it's kind of like a flywire concept where all of these little pieces are grabbing your foot when you tie the laces tight and holding it, locking it down inside of the shoe. You have your big padded tongue, a really nice heel liner with a little kind of heel notches or bumps right there to keep your heel locked in place inside of the shoe. There is an internal heel counter here. It is a very thin, kind of flexible plastic, but enough to get the job done. And overall, the upper is just very, very straightforward. It's a very thin, soft material. You can see when you get up close, there's different textures, there's different patterns that are happening, and it's just a really, really interesting concept that definitely does seem to perform the part from Nike/Jordan brand. So again, curious to see what this material holds for the future of Nike footwear. As far as the outsole is concerned, you can see that it does have a variation of the flight plate. This time it's plastic as opposed to carbon fiber, like we saw on the Jordan 28s. No big deal there. I don't think it's going to make for much of a difference in weight or performance, if I'm completely honest with you guys. And then as far as the midsole is concerned, I believe it is a standard Phylon foam midsole in the heel and forefoot, but in the forefoot obviously you have that unlock zoom, which has been tweaked in comparison again to the 28. It doesn't seem to be as kind of far off the bottom of the shoe. It doesn't protrude as much. So for that reason, and this is one of the first things I noticed when I put them on, is that it doesn't have that kind of forefoot being too high off the ground sensation that you got with the 28. Not something that I'm complaining about, but definitely a noticeable difference in comparison to that 28 model. And then you have this little extra extension piece right here through the middle, which I guess there was issues with the middle of the shoe for bigger guys anyways, that it would kind of fall down when you stepped, when you put all your weight on the shoe. And that little piece there, that stiffener bar, that little support beam, if you want to call it that, is there just to prevent the flight plate from kind of drooping down when you put all your weight on the base of the shoe. And then as far as the actual traction pattern is concerned, it's kind of a wavy pattern. Pretty interesting. As far as performance is concerned, I'm sure it performs the part. It's not particularly flexible, but overall looks the part, and that's really half the battle here with these Jordan models. I don't think I saw nearly as many complaints with the Jordan 29 in terms of how it looks in comparison to the Jordan 28, which everybody seemed to hate, but it sold pretty well if you ask me. So again, I think that it's a home run again from Jordan brand with the Jordan 29. Very interesting shoe, really interesting technologies, and I'm excited to see what this holds for the future of performance footwear from Nike as well as Jordan brand. So that's pretty much it for the kind of tech specs and what you should know about all the details on the Jordan 29. And next we'll move on to a quick on feet so you can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit and of course how they look. All right, here's a look at the Air Jordan 29s on feet with a pair of shorts. And what I will say about these is not only do they look the part, but they're also extremely comfortable, which is important with any performance shoe. If you're going to be spending a lot of time in them, doing high intensity exercise in them, it's really important that they feel good. And with any new technology, people are of course going to be skeptical, but honestly, the performance woven upper on this shoe feels very sock-like, very soft, moves naturally, and it really does feel like you're wearing a pair of extra supportive socks. So to a certain extent, it is like Flyknit, but once you try them on, you understand that it's a little bit softer, a little bit more cushioned feeling, but just as supportive. So an interesting variation of what we have with Flyknit technology. As far as how they fit overall, they're comfortable shoes. They have a decent width to them, and I definitely would say that they run true to size. I'm wearing my usual size 9.5 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. And unless you have excessively wide feet, you can probably go true to size, but again, if you need that little bit of extra width, you can safely go half a size up. It has a snug fit going true to size, I will say that. So that's pretty much it as far as what they look like on feet with a pair of shorts. And move on next, what they look like on feet with a pair of pants. All right, here's a look at the Jordan 29s on feet with a pair of pants. And especially if you're comparing them to the Jordan 28s, I think that the 29 is much more wearable as kind of an everyday casual pair of shoes, especially in the two launch colorways that are pretty straightforward, black, red, and white. You can really get away with wearing these with jeans, sweatpants, pretty much whatever you want to if you choose to wear these casually. They really look the part, and in my opinion, it's just a really versatile shoe, not only in terms of performance and comfort, but also in terms of how many different ways you can wear it. So that's pretty much it as far as what these guys look like on feet, and I'll leave you to my final thoughts. Alright guys, that's it for my review of the Air Jordan 29. Really good looking shoe if you ask me. I'm excited to see what Nike and Jordan Brand is going to do with this performance woven upper. I really think they've got something here. It feels the part, it performs the part, it looks the part, and it really does have everything going for it. And as far as the 29 is concerned, I really like this shoe. I think it's a good looking model, and they can really do a lot with it as far as design is concerned. It's not the craziest silhouette, but again, the main attraction here is definitely that performance woven upper, which, like I said, I think they can really do a lot with. Now, if you guys are interested in a pair of these for yourself, again, be sure to check out the review page on my website, linked down below in the description. I'll have buy it now links for the best prices online where you can get the Jordan 29, again, if you are at all interested. Also on that review page, you will find the high quality images that I took of my pair that'll give you a better idea as to some of the close-up details that you might not necessarily see in the online stock photos. Other than that though, guys, if you have any questions, thoughts, or suggestions, be sure to leave all of those down below in the comment section, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. That would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already, for more sneaker reviews. All of my social media information is down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.